Some players have tried to win the championship, win a ring for years and haven't made it, and I don't want to be one of those.
Wembanyama rolls to the back.
Oh, okay. You're seeing things you never saw before, right?
5-on-4. Wemby's going to pull a deep three.
Oh, Victor Wembanyama, are you kidding me?
He's unbelievable, folks. He's unbelievable. One big thing.
A day later, it still feels difficult to avoid saying things that feel ridiculous about what we saw Victor Wembanyama do in Game 1 of the Western Conference Finals. Got to fight the urge not to allow hyperbole to overpower. The beginning of that word is hype. And on this show, it began in 2020 with this from a guy who's now the general manager of the Dallas Mavericks.
I'm looking at potentially the best prospect in all of Europe, regardless of age. His name is Victor Wembanyama. Now, he's only 16 years old, okay? So you don't want to put $2,000 of expectations on him. This kid has #1 potential written all over him.
Over the years in sports, there have been countless next this or that, and much of it turns out to be overdone. Not this one. All the excitement about what he might be, if anything, now seems undersold. Monday night, it felt like we were all doing some version of the same thing, which is trying to make sense of this performance, this human being. And it's not as if he wasn't known to all of us prior to Game 1 against the reigning champs, but the totality of what happened felt like a moment where the calculus changed. A mythical possibility is morphing into something more in real time. Texting with Mike Tirico, who was on the call for NBC, and he shared that in the handful of times that he's been courtside, there are always several plays a game he's just never seen before. We settled on one word to describe Wemby: singular. The three to tie it with less than 30 seconds on the clock in overtime, down 3, in a game they had mostly controlled, wasn't just clutch. As the Ringer pointed out, the shot he stepped into from more than 32 feet with complete conviction and zero hesitation, that was the longest shot he's made to date in his career. But that's just one moment. On a night he played 49 of the 58 minutes, also a career high, and saw him impact this remarkable game in ways large and small that are too numerous to count. And there are many things that are frightening about this young Spurs team and this 22-year-old star to consider. As thoughtful and interesting as he is off the floor, as honest as he is about his desire to be seen as the best, on the floor, he is ferocious. That edge is not hidden. If he truly despises Chet Holmgren, or if it's just one of a million NBA Twitter constructs, you don't have to squint to see it. I just think he's coming for everyone. But it's stunning. As he and his team were, it took all of that to finally put the reigning champs down just one time. And this series remains a race to 4. Undoubtedly, the Thunder are going to be scheming to try to figure something out. But what if Victor Wembanyama already has? And a scarier thought, if he hasn't, what's anyone going to do when he does? In New York, the home team stays hot. The Knicks grab a 1-0 series lead over the Cavaliers. It's their first lead at any point in the conference final since 1999, and Jeff Van Gundy was their head coach. They won that series in 6 games over the Reggie Miller-led Pacers. That was before high definition for the youngsters. New York's comeback, one for the ages, second largest fourth-quarter comeback since we began tracking this in 1998. The only larger comeback came in the first round, the Clippers against the Grizzlies. We're at conference finals, so the stakes are more significant. The Knicks have dominated at various points this postseason, but never quite the way they did on the way to a 44-11 run to end it on Tuesday. They went 15 for 21 from the floor in that span. Meanwhile, Mitchell and Harden combined to go 1 for 10. Knicks get the win. Joined now from the Garden by Tim Legler, site of really an astounding comeback. And Tim, you're sitting there courtside. What allowed the Knicks to do what they did, and what allowed Cleveland to melt in the fashion in which they did?
Well, you know, Scott, we've made so much about the Knicks offense and changing it up and putting Karl Anthony Towns more at the top and facilitating. And a lot of that is true during this run they've had over the last 7 games. But when push came to shove, and game one was on the line. They went back to Jalen Brunson, middle of the floor, hunt who you want, and just go to work. And the Cavs at that point with a big lead started out saying, you know what, we're going to let him operate one-on-one, even if it is against James Harden, the matchup he would like, because we're not going to allow three-point shots, because that's how you really make that type of a comeback. Problem was Brunson made like 5 shots in a row, and now you get it to a workable margin with enough time. The decision to double team then comes. It opens three-point shooters. It opens drives for OG Anunoby out of the double team. So really, it all comes down to Jalen Brunson unlocking the Knicks offense and doing it really single-handedly, and then just reading it from that point on. This was a superstar putting a team on his back, refusing to accept that they were going to lose this game.
I'm with that, but on the other side, you have a superstar in Donovan Mitchell, and it felt like Cleveland didn't look to him. I don't get that. What do you make of that seeming absence from Mitchell? And more than anything, it was that he wasn't the guy that had the ball in his hands a lot.
Well, I think he got his ankle rolled up on late. I don't know if that was a factor. He was still on the court, but it was bizarre to me, if he's on the floor, that you're not initiating with him. He had an efficient night the entire night, and he's coming off of a Game 7 in which he played incredibly well. So that's where you go. That's your star. I know you've got James Harden as well, but James Harden did not have a night where he was scoring the basketball. He was turning it over a little bit. He can still break you down. But when you see that game start to get away from you, to me, it's got to be in the hands of Donovan Mitchell and let him go decide how this game is going to end offensively for the Cavs. They just didn't get there. And then I'm going to tell you, I did see some three-point shooters across the board for the Cavs look tight on some of those looks that they had that really could have stopped that Knicks run and stalled some of that momentum. They didn't look comfortable. Seemed like they wanted the clock to run out once they had that big lead, and the aggressive mindset shifted to the Knicks. They smelled it, they went after it, they got it.
Yeah, it felt like Mike Breen might have had the bang halfway loaded, but Merrill's shot comes out, and New York rides the momentum to a victory. They grab game one. Tim, appreciate the time. I'll visit with you throughout the series. Thank you.
No doubt, Scott. You got it.
Some other significant news from the NBA. Jason Kidd out as Dallas Mavericks head coach. Mutual parting of the ways is how the departure is being framed. New president Masai Ujiri and new GM Mike Schmitz are now starting over. Ujiri saying, quote, "We believe this is the right moment for a new direction for our team." Now, I rarely buy any relationships end being described as a mutual decision, but to some extent here I do. After Kidd expressed a desire to be considered for the front office and was frozen out, he could see the Mavericks' future wasn't going to include him. When Ujiri was not definitive, I should say, keeping him when he was introduced a couple of weeks ago, that said it all. Finals run in 24 feels like a lifetime ago. Bringing in a new president and GM affords what feels like the need, frankly, to rebrand after everything that happened last year with Luka. They do get Cooper Flagg in the draft. They wait for Kyrie to get healthy. They got a pair of first-round picks this year in a draft that's loaded. So that's the good news. But it will be an uphill climb because the Western Conference, as we know, also is the McMenamin shot here. You're going to see it there, upper left. Nothing like the Garden. Watch the reaction as the Shamet three goes in. That tied the game. What a night in New York as they're down 22. They started 4 of 24 from three. They made 25 threes the last time they played. They get back to within 10. That was what my guy Stanford Steve asked upstairs. Then what? Well, then Brunson continues to do his thing from deep. All 3 of these. Now it's an 18-1 run. Now it's a 5-point game. And now everyone in New York City is thinking, we might be on the right side tonight. Here's the Shamet bucket. Friendly bounce off glass, off the rim, and down. And on the other side, they were getting stop after stop. Now, James Harden here goes to work on Brunson, gets the bucket to 2-point lead. But then on the other end, Brunson blows by Harden, and we are tied. With 6 seconds to go, Sam Merrill, and we almost heard, but it rims out. Merrill's 3, oh, that's gruesome if you're a Cleveland fan. Knicks end the fourth quarter on a 30-8 run, and it continues into overtime. There's the Brunson floater. He has 38. Later in overtime, OG Anunoby with the ball fake. Then gets past the defense Bodies Mobley out of the way, and the lead is 6. And then Shamet. Where's my guy Buck? That's a dagger. 44-11 ends the game for New York, and they are able to win game 1. And in the fourth quarter, if you're interested in such things, according to DraftKings Sportsbook, they were plus 8,000 live to win, about a 1% chance. In the last 30 seasons, teams are now 2-594 when they trail by 22 or more in the fourth quarter of a playoff game, as the playoffs, both the Western and Eastern Conference, off to overtime start.